Okay guys, welcome back to another episode of us going from that funded account and getting a payout. Okay, so we are one step closer today. Today we ended the day up $716.40. This right here is the trade that we took. Okay, we're going to be going over it, obviously going over all the order flow concepts that I used to catch the trade. But yeah, overall a really nice trade. Obviously you might be thinking you didn't hit TP, but whenever I'm really close to TP, I trail very tightly because the places that I'm targeting, you know, they are quite renowned for, reversing and flipping on us, which is the last thing that we will ever want. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over to our order flow platform and I'll show you what we were looking for. What you're looking at is just a 5-minute chart. Really the key important things is obviously our TPOs. So coming in today, as you can see, value's been, migrating up a little bit. We've just been figuring it out. Obviously, December, it's pretty slow. And if we look at today, okay, and we look at today in correlation to, the composite that we're forming, right? As we can see, at 8 a.m., so at London, we tested the highs and we also tested the lows, okay? And then where did we pull back to? We pulled back to the point of control. Now, after the point of control, basically what we can see is the point of control was hit here, okay? After hitting this, you can just see that Delta really just died out, actually. We had super strong bullish Delta coming into this move, and it was actually carried by, passive buyers, really, because, price was higher than Delta. So, it was looking pretty strong, but we just couldn't follow through with the aggression. And eventually it just leads to a bit of a flush to the downside. Now, immediately I was looking for sells, and I was looking for sells because at market open, as you can see, we opened at the low of yesterday's volume value area, and we showed pretty good acceptance through. Now, the way that I knew that we were getting accepted was really that, as you can see, Delta was super heavy negative on one side, and normally that does mean that one side has a lot more control than the other. But also just looking at the footprint, where are we? So yeah, so this is the market open candle. We're getting lots of selling into the lows, and we got a good strong close. Okay, now after that, what I was looking for was at the 500 tick. Let me go back to it now. So as you can see, looking back at the trade, what I was looking for was to see some sort of resistance and some sort of bearish confirmation, which I could see by us not closing above, this sort of supply demand zone. If you extend it over, you can see that we got previous rejection, we're accepting through it. And then once we get, a big bearish candle, coming down to these lows, I think you're all set to be able to take that trade with full confidence. So really the key points of today was looking at the TPO, seeing what the bias was, telling us. And with me looking, at the market, I still maybe expect a sell-off. But the thing is that I don't like is if I'm looking at the TPO charts. Sorry. we got accepted beneath the composite's value. And now we're regaining acceptance back in, which is a bit of a red flag for me. So I'm probably, I'm going to be finished trading anyway. But I do just like to see what happens and like to, for example, just put a short position. Not take the trade, but just see it and obviously gather more data, more experience, and that is how you're going to get better and better. So obviously we're one step closer to getting that payout and achieving the goal of the series. So if you do enjoy the series, be sure to subscribe, leave a comment. I read them all because I get about 2. So nah, Brad, stop being a joker. But yeah, so let me go back to Quantile. Obviously, looking at these market conditions, they're not too great. And I think the important thing from today is, as I mentioned, obviously looking at TPO, giving us the bias. Obviously, we literally stopped buying after we hit the point of control, which is a huge sell confluence. I then at 9:30. Our 9:30 candle was pulling back into this low volume node, as you can see right here. Obviously it's very, very, very choppy. So if you go back to the 9:30 candle, as you can see, it's really clear as day, and we took this trade at, so after the 35 minutes 21 seconds it says we entered. As you can see up here, we're getting all of this buying, and as you can see right here, this candle is really a go. But I just wanted a little bit more confirmation, so I entered around about here, but you could have easily entered here and it would have been a brilliant trade. So that is the 34-minute mark, which is yeah, so you're getting, you know, an extra 25 ticks, which is it's a lot. It is a lot, but you know, that's something that we can always improve on. And yeah, you can see right here that the buying is just getting absorbed. We've got positive delta, negative closes, you know, looking at the bias that we have throughout the day with this massive trend. It's just textbook. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.